scientists estimate that our planet may still be hiding over 5 million undiscovered species, creatures that defy explanation and imagination. And while the internet is flooded with fake videos chasing fame and attention, every now and then, a few clips emerge that feel too real to ignore. Footage that makes even the most skeptical mind. Sewers are dark, damp, and easily among the last places anyone would ever want to visit. The smell is foul, the air is heavy, and sometimes something strange lurks in the darkness below. During a maintenance check in a private sewer system in Raleigh, North Carolina, a company called Maris Construction sent a robotic surveillance camera deep underground to inspect the aging pipes. These tunnels were built back in 1949, and the client simply wanted to ensure the system was still functional. But what the workers discovered that day left them completely stunned. As the camera crawled through the narrow pipes, it suddenly captured something unexpected. 3 pulsating reddish blobs clinging to the walls. They seemed to breathe and move in unison, almost like a living organism caught in its early stage of metamorphosis. Perplexed, the workers uploaded the footage online, and soon the internet exploded with theories. At first, the city's environmental coordinator suggested that these could be colonies of tubifex worms, tiny creatures that might have entered the sewer system through cracks or groundwater. But not everyone agreed. Critics pointed out that the blobs didn't resemble worms at all. They appeared smooth, moving together as if they were a single entity, not individual creatures. A biology professor later weighed in, suggesting they might be bryozoans, small harmless organisms that extend tentacles to feed. However, a bryozoan expert quickly rejected that claim, arguing instead that they were tubificids, a close relative of the tubifex worm family. He explained that these worms typically live in soil or stagnant water, but somehow found their way into the sewer. The strange throbbing motion, he said, occurs when one worm contracts, triggering the others to react, making the mass appear like one giant breathing muscle. Still, even with all those explanations, no one knows for certain what the camera actually recorded. Whether they were worms, bryozoans, or an entirely new organism, one thing remains clear. Whatever it was, is still living somewhere inside those Carolina pipelines. And it's probably much bigger now. On October 21st, 2015, locals from the small town of Corrientes del Paraná were left baffled after discovering something floating along the Paraná River. The decomposed corpse of a strange, unidentified creature. It was about the size of a small dog, drifting face down, its body pale and bloated from decomposition. It had grayish skin, no fur, a long tail, and disturbingly human-like egg hands and fingers. The first responders on the scene were the local firefighters. Their chief reported that their initial assumption was that it might be a monkey, mainly because of the human-like features of its limbs, but the advanced state of decay made identification almost impossible. When the photos and videos began to circulate online, many quickly claimed it was the legendary chupacabra, the infamous goat sucker said to drain the blood of farm animals during the night. Stories of this terrifying creature date back to the early 1900s, spreading fear across Latin America for decades. The chupacabra has long been blamed for mysterious livestock deaths, with victims found completely drained of blood and no predator ever identified. The legend grew so large that it even reached Russia, where in 2014, the Ministry of Agriculture had to officially deny its existence after dozens of unexplained farm animal deaths sparked panic among villagers. Skeptics who examined the body insisted it was just a drowned monkey, its unusual appearance caused by bloating and decay in the river. But others weren't convinced, pointing out that the creature's structure and features didn't match any known primate. Some suggested it could be an alien life form, while others believed it to be an unknown cryptid, possibly a variation of the chupacabra itself. Whatever it was, the discovery left locals terrified and made the world wonder if the goatsucker might actually be real. So what do you think? Was it simply a decomposed animal or proof of something far more mysterious lurking among us? First mentioned in Icelandic records from 1345, the legendary creature known as the Lagerfljót worm, or simply Iceland's worm monster, has fascinated locals and terrified travelers for centuries. According to an old Icelandic folktale, a mother once gave her daughter a gold ring and told her to place it beneath a tiny snake she had caught, believing it would bring her wealth. The girl did as she was told, keeping both the snake and the ring inside a small wooden chest. But over time, something horrifying happened. The snake began to grow uncontrollably, so large that the chest started to crack apart. Terrified, the girl threw both the ring and the creature into Lake Lagerfljót. And from that day on, locals claimed a massive serpent began haunting its waters. For generations, there have been eyewitness reports of an enormous serpent-like creature slithering beneath the surface, said to be over 39 feet long, sometimes described as larger than a bus. Some even claim to have seen it coiled up on the shore or moving through the trees near the lake. In 1983, workers from a cable company reported something unusual. Their underwater cable had been severely damaged, and when they retrieved it, they noticed a huge, shifting mass directly beneath the line. Later, in 2012, a video surfaced that reignited global interest. The footage showed what appeared to be a long, serpent-like shape gliding through the icy current of a river connected to the lake. Skeptics were quick to claim it was just a fishing net caught in the current. But to many, the movement looked far too lifelike to dismiss. A local municipal council even formed a committee to study the video and determine its authenticity. Surprisingly, they declared the footage genuine, fueling belief that something truly mysterious dwells in those waters. Whether it's a legendary serpent, a trick of light, or an undiscovered creature from the depths, the mystery of Iceland's worm monster continues to haunt imaginations and may still be slithering beneath the frozen surface today. In April 2012, a deep-sea camera operator was conducting a routine inspection for an oil rig located far beneath the Gulf of Mexico. Everything appeared calm until something massive drifted slowly into view. As the camera slid along the pipeline, a huge, rippling orange-brown mass floated past the lens. At first, the operator thought it might just be debris, until it moved again, gracefully, deliberately, like something alive. The camera followed the strange blob as it twisted and pulsed through the dark water. Then, just as suddenly, it vanished, only to return moments later, gliding closer this time, as if it were studying the camera itself. When the video was released online, it went viral almost instantly. Viewers around the world tried to explain what they were seeing. Some insisted it was nothing more than a whale placenta, detached after birth and drifting through the ocean. But marine experts quickly dismissed that idea, explaining that a whale placenta could never survive at 5,000 feet below sea level, where immense pressure and hungry sea life would have destroyed it long before. Others noticed something strange. The creature appeared to move with intention, almost intelligently. Its body was covered in a glowing hexagonal pattern, and at one point, you could even see what looked like reproductive organs, proving it wasn't just an inanimate mass, it was alive. For nearly 2 years, no one could identify what this mysterious creature was. Then, scientists from the National Evolutionary Synthesis Center at Duke University, led by marine biologist Craig McLean, offered a theory. They believed the creature could be an extremely rare jellyfish known as Deepsteria enigmatica, a bizarre deep-sea species that looks more like a floating translucent blanket than a typical jellyfish. However, other experts disagreed, saying it was more likely a Deepsteria reticulum, a related jellyfish with small ridges across its surface that act as a defensive mechanism. Its membranes glow faintly in the dark, creating the same alien-like shimmer seen in the video. To this day, no one can say for certain what the creature really was. Whether it's a known jellyfish species or a completely undiscovered life form, one thing is undeniable: the footage remains haunting. Watching that massive, otherworldly being drift silently through the deep sea is a chilling reminder of how little we truly understand about the world hidden beneath the ocean's surface. When people hear the name Loch Ness Monster, they immediately picture the misty waters of Scotland's Loch Ness, home to one of the world's most famous legends. But what if there's another sea creature just like it, lurking somewhere else? This time, not in Scotland, but in Ireland. In April 2015, 3 film students were out on the waters of Lough Foyle near County Donegal, shooting footage for a class project. Everything was calm at first, but as their camera panned across the water, something massive moved beneath the surface. The students froze. A large, dark shape was gliding steadily toward their boat. The camera shook as they tried to keep it focused. The video might be unsteady, but it captured something truly strange. The mysterious object came close enough to send ripples rocking the boat. Its form was hard to define, almost serpentine, but unmistakably alive. When the footage surfaced online, people immediately started calling it Ireland's own Nessie. Ireland, it turns out, has a long history of sea monster legends. One of the most famous dates back to October 1871, when a local newspaper in the coastal town of Kilkee reported a chilling sighting. According to the article, a small group of visitors exploring the cliffs at an area known as the Diamond Rocks saw a huge creature rise suddenly from the ocean. The witnesses described it as having a head the size of a horse, with a mane of seaweed-like hair draped around its neck. Its eyes glared fiercely, and the water behind it churned, as if concealing a body far larger than anything they had ever seen. The report was so detailed that an artist even created an illustration of the beast, published alongside the story. More than a century later, that old newspaper was rediscovered by the Mary Evans Picture Library in London during the digitization of Victorian archives. When compared with the modern Lough Foyle footage, the similarities were eerie. Same movement, same size, even the same serpentine silhouette. So could it be some mysteries never die? They just wait to be uncovered. If you love the dark truth behind real stories, hit subscribe and like this video. More secrets await on True Tale Files.